All right. Hello there, Aries. Hopefully everybody can hear me and see me. I'll wait for a couple comments to confirm that. All right, looks like I'm live now. So I want to welcome you to your January 2020 reading. I'm super excited to be doing a live reading. I don't think I've done this for about a year. I think the last time I did it was when I hit a milestone on the channel. So this is super exciting for me. I hope you guys enjoy it as well. And today, I want to kind of go over what this is about, what I'm doing for the whole January set of readings for all the signs, and then we'll get started, okay? So as you can see, this is live. Part of the reason that I wanted to do that was, one, to kind of wish you guys a happy holiday season and get these to you sooner. Same thing for me. I wanted to enjoy the holiday and relax a little bit. So one of the cool things about doing live is it very much captures the spirit of what it would be like to have a real one-to-one reading with me. So I thought this could be exciting for me, exciting for you, and a way to kind of change things up a bit. Also, like I said, expedient, organic, and hopefully fun for all of us. Each reading will be done individually. So rather than doing a batch of 12, I will be releasing each one throughout this month. I'm going to stream just about every day except Tuesdays and Wednesdays, since I do one-on-ones with all my clients on those days. So that would mean Thursday I should be doing the next video. If you haven't already followed me on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, you should do that because I will post a notification on the mornings that I go live, so you won't miss it. And also, if you don't have that bell icon here on YouTube, the notifications icon, please go ahead and add that now too, so that you can get a little note when I go live. So with all that being said, the format's going to be the same. The main difference is I'm here and I'm chatting with you. And I'm going to also just say that there's I see all the live chat here. If we can wait until the end, we'll do a little bit of comment there and, back and forth, and I'll be happy to answer some questions and say hello. But the rest of this is going to be really the normal format so that I can stay tuned in. So I see you guys and I'd like to welcome you, but I'm gonna just kind of disregard the comment stream so that I can give you the best reading possible. And then at the end, we'll have some time for interaction. So with that being said, let's talk a little bit about who I am, what I do, etc. First, I'm going to welcome back all of my returning viewers. It's good to see you live. And if you're brand new, I'd like to welcome you as well. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. And every month, this is how I organize my readings. I like to start off with some channeled information. This happens when I select a deck of cards, do some meditation, see what I can feel from a clairvoyant point of view and also empathically, since I can oftentimes feel things in my body. So whatever comes through, I will share with you at that point. Then we'll pull a full Celtic cross and look at all the information coming through for the month. And then after that, I expand it to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. And this really gives you a nice overview. I'm here to provide a roadmap. You guys have the free will to make decisions. So hopefully I'm empowering you to do just that today. So let's see if I've missed anything. I think those are the highlights there. So I'd like to actually get straight into the channeled message. And what I'm going to do afterwards is we'll talk about how you can get involved and give back to the channel. This has Super Chat enabled, by the way. So another way that you can support me today is Super Chat. Save that until the end so I can see you and interact with you. Let's talk about the channeled message right here and right now. All right, actually this morning before I started to even get ready for this reading, I had a couple of, I meditated. I also had a dream of what I needed to talk to you guys about. And I captured this in automatic writing, but I want to talk about the dream a little bit too so that it will help you. So the main message for Aries this month is that you need to get ahead of a key conversation or some messaging that's coming through, because I feel like some of you might be holding back or might be uncomfortable or unsure of timing. And what I saw with the vision that I had was that if you don't sort of get out and control the flow of information or say what you need to say, either you'll miss a window of opportunity or potentially someone else could get in there and maybe adjust or kind of skew the way people are going to receive a message. So I wrote this down in automatic writing. It says, get ahead of news or an announcement, control the narrative. And it's hard to read because I think it's reversed when I do live, but that's what it basically is. There's a rule in public relations, which is it's always good to be transparent. You always want to tell the truth. You always want to be the first to say something, and you want to be able to express it in a way that is authentic and sort of really in the light that you want it to be. So I'm encouraging everybody this month to do all of that. Don't be afraid to speak up, to say what you need to say. It's not going to be as difficult as you think it will be, and it will be much better if you kind of get out there a little bit sooner. The other piece of information that I got when I was meditating was that some of you have, I think it has to do with family, and it makes perfect sense since many of you will be joining your family later this month for the holiday season, whatever holiday you might celebrate, even if it's just New Year's. I think that there's some relationship issues that need to be dealt with. I was getting that it was usually between women, so it could be a sister or a mother. If there's anything that you need to get out in the air, try to do that. There's an opportunity for healing right now. And I saw forgiveness as the key word that kind of came into my mind's eye. And this, for some of you, could be what that message is, getting ahead of it and just realizing that it's okay. And if you just kind of share what you need to share ahead of time, you're going to have a better holiday season and you can kind of clear the air right here and right now. All right, so that's your channeled message for this month. At this point, I'm going to pull the camera down like I always do, shuffle the cards. We'll look at all of the Celtic cross, and I'm also going to pull the expanded forecast. Again, health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll talk about that when I pull the camera up. So just be patient as I lay everything out, and I'll be right back, okay? So for those of you that just joined, I am right in the middle of pulling the Celtic cross and expanded forecast, so just stick around. I'll be right back. All right. Thank you for your patience while I pulled everything there. I want to start off with your catalyst card. So for those of you that are new, the catalyst card functions as a connective thread. For me, it's often the most important card because this will help you really embrace the highest frequency energy of the month. And what I mean by high frequency is really looking at the bright side of things. Even when there's a challenging situation, a lot of times there is a lesson to be learned. There is a way to deal with it that is going to allow you to resolve karma, sometimes diffuse the situation and get past it so you don't kind of keep repeating cycles. So the card was reversed, but I'd like to pull it up right so we can see it. I know it's reversed, I think, when you're reading it, but it says Cosmic Egg, and there's this really powerful snake around it. I actually love snakes when I'm looking at symbols because they are power symbols. And that's showing me that for you, especially as we're looking at the month of January, there's a lot of potential energy that I feel some of you have kind of been holding on to. An egg for me is like money, fertility, growth, opportunities. And this is saying you've got it, but it feels like some of you might be holding on a little too tightly to this. And part of what January is going to be for many of you is a chance to release and to allow for things to sort of come to fruition, to hatch, basically. So the work that you're doing now, because by the way, we are watching this in December, is setting you up for success in January. So I think that the message for January, however, is it's time to let go. The fact that this is upside down is kind of like if you have anything upside down, you're going to drop it. You need to let it go. I think some of you are protecting that idea or protecting that thing so much that it's sort of like, if you don't let it go, it's kind of like when I had to do the live stream today, I had to eventually just push go live. You have to go for it, right? So that's part of this, is just saying, it's okay. You've done enough work. January is the right time. The one thing here that also really connects nicely with the channeled message here was that you will be able to control the timing of the release, the message, how you're communicating this, etc. So you can still control things and release them. And I think that's kind of the balance that you'll be trying to achieve during the month of January, if that makes sense. Let's go to the center of the spread and get a little bit more clarity on what the big idea is in January. We have the Knight of Wands, which I love. Knights are all about movement, and we're looking for a new year where there's things that are starting to happen. Wands, though, in reverse can sometimes be an indication of overthinking. And so I think timing is going to be really important for you. For me, also, any of the court cards can be 1s or 10s. So that first week between the 1st and the 10th, that's when a lot of this overthinking could happen. And I think there's an encouragement to move, to let this idea, this opportunity, whatever it is you want to really start off the new year with, to really allow it to happen. So sometime during that first 10-day period, I think that's when you want to start to take some action in the new year. Wands are great for anybody that owns a business or is trying to do something new in their life, wants to try to develop themselves in some way, shape, or form, because that's really about ideation, brainstorming. And the key thing with this card is it's saying, don't be afraid to bring that out into the world. It's time to share. And as a fellow creative, it's so hard, right? Sometimes you really, really care about something. You want to make sure it's perfect. This card is saying enough now. If you don't actually let it out, you can hamper the development of it. All right. On top of this, we have the Two of Wands. So again, both now and also in January, this is a card of manifestation. When you know where you want to go, you can actually get there. And if you look closely, this particular person is holding the earth. Sometimes you'll see a crystal or a crystal ball or whatever, but basically it means that when you know what you want, people around you know what you want, the universe knows what you want. And a lot of times I use this analogy of sort of like dominoes. Nobody plays with dominoes anymore, but hopefully, you know, people probably are thinking pizza. But dominoes, the old sort of game where you would have all of these little chips lined up, if you tap one of them, they all flow. So it really works the opposite with the universe. So when you know what you want, you see it out on the horizon, then things start to open up and come towards you. So this is where you can get that feeling of being empowered and ready. Think to yourself over the course of the next, 4 to 6 weeks, depending on when you see this reading, I know what I want, I'm ready for what I want, and I'm also going to allow it to come to me. I don't have to control every piece of it. That slight bit of detachment will help you with manifestation, because if you try too much to control how things manifest, they don't manifest as well. It takes longer, and people can sometimes feel that sort of neediness, and we don't want that when you're trying to manifest. So keep your eye on the prize, stay positive, keep looking at opportunities over the course of both December and January, and know that during the first week of the month, I feel like many of you are going to get confirmation that you need, really saying, this is the time, this is the place, do it. Enough said. All right, when we look in your deep past, we have the Knight of Swords. So I love this for many of you because this indicates that you've been doing the work. Actually, things are already happening this month, and it's good that we're actually doing this a little bit early because this is indicating the now. So right now you want to put into writing anything that you want to make happen. So even if this is just a journal or kind of like writing something down or saying something out loud in gratitude, this is about understanding that thoughts are one thing, but when you manifest, you have to also take action and speak and kind of execute on that. So it's just showing really that there's going to be a little bit of follow through that's needed for you. The other thing for many of you, if you're creative, right here and right now, you should be focusing on putting that into practice. So painting, writing, dancing, you might be getting some ideas. Capture that. Even if sometimes I get ideas in the middle of the night, I'm half asleep and I take my phone and I tap it in, or I hit the memo button and I'll record it, because you're at a very open state of mind during the early points of the evening and morning. So whatever you're getting as far as intuitive downloads or ideas, whether you're creative or not, I really want you to tune into that and write it down, because part of this is that if you don't forget it, it's fleeting. So if you ever remembered, if you've had a conversation or if you tried to do something, if you don't kind of sometimes put it down on paper, it just goes away. So that's part of this, is just committing to it and making sure that that gets captured. All right, we're looking at really the beginning of January here. It's recent past, but the way this is going to fall is it'll be like the last week of this month, first week of January. We have the Star card in reverse. I love the Star, probably one of my favorite cards in tarot. I want to pull her upright for a second so you can see it. This particular Star card reminds me a lot of the Magician card, as above, so below. She's connected to heaven and earth. And so the thing with this is I want you to stay grounded and secure in who you are and what you're trying to do. And don't let anybody make you try to change your vision, your voice, or that confidence that you have, because when that confidence is shaken, the delivery of the message is shaken, your ability to be as impactful is shaken, and also you might be missing a key opportunity. This is about a window that's going to come into your life. Take that window of opportunity. You're supposed to be in a point right now where you can actually ascend to something new. So this might mean that, there's a new business opportunity, a new level of visibility in your family and the community, or you're deciding that you want to do something new in your life. Sometimes the star card can be sort of a coming out, a release. And that's what I saw here with the cosmic egg, and also with the message that I channeled earlier, which is just basically, something has to happen, own it, deliver it when you need to deliver it, and just let people catch up. Sometimes when you're intuitive, when you're creative, you're just a little bit ahead of the curve, right? You know what you need to do. And sometimes people around you don't get it. They just think you're kind of crazy. You're not crazy, you're tuned in. So I want you to trust the intuition that you're getting, the creativity that you're getting. And most importantly, and I say this a lot when I see star reversed, don't mute your light, don't dim your light. I said that to another sign last month. Hopefully it wasn't yours, because I don't want that message to keep coming through for you. So you have a chance, take it. And if someone in your life can't be happy for you or doesn't understand you, again, I feel like it's their loss, and that you're going to be able to continue to grow over the course of January. It's a big month for you. All right, let's look at some other things that are coming through. In your crowning position, we have the Page of Cups in particular. This card is also reversed. Just a quick note, since I'm live, I want to talk about this. Sometimes I get questions about why I read reversals. For me, it would be the same answer as, why would you not use the whole alphabet, right? Why would I stop halfway through? Why would I stop at the letter L or something like that? So the reason I read reversals is because it gives me colors of meaning. An upright page means clear communication or clear delivery. A reverse page means that there's something clogging that delivery. In this case, it's emotions, because this particular page has to do with how you're feeling. So the message with the reversal of this is, don't let your emotions block you, and don't let other people's emotions block you. If I didn't read the reversal of the card, I would miss the meaning. Unless I were super duper psychic and I could just look at everything upright. And again, I think you're missing meanings, or it's like half the alphabet. So I want to say with this, again, don't let your nerves get in the way. Don't let other people's fears project onto you and somehow make you miss something because you're afraid. You're kind of, especially for those of you that are empathic, right? You tend to kind of like absorb those fears or those feelings. So push it back, clear your energy, clear yourself. You're going to be happy that you did that. Looking at near future, which is kind of the midpoint of the month, but also kind of where January is heading you overall. We have the Justice card, and she's upright, which I like, because this is showing me that things are going to come to a resolution. This can be a signing of a contract, a completion of something in your life, maybe having something that has been owed to you for a long time actually coming to you. So if you've been overdue for a promotion, if you've been waiting for someone to come to you and give you something, maybe even a proposal or something, you're going to receive some sort of a gift or some sort of an opportunity. We keep getting that: an egg, fertility, some sort of growth, a star, again, a coming out opportunity. This is about you weighing that decision, and you get to kind of make it, because this isn't reverse. It's not about you having to deal with something that you don't want to deal with, or someone saying that you can't do something. This is you deciding, am I ready for this big portal, this opportunity? Yes, December was the portal, but now you've got this egg that you have to kind of figure out, like, am I ready for this? You got something through this month, through the work you've been doing, and now it's up to you to decide to kind of carry through on that. With Justice, there's always a note that you want to be fair in what's going on, even if other people in your life are not giving you that sort of example that you want to live by. So it's basically, sometimes we have to inspire other people, especially if we're light workers, right? And it's hard, because you can be doing everything that you want to be doing, and sometimes other people in your life are there trying to distract you, not leading a good example, or are just not good citizens. This card is saying that we have to continue to shine brightly, if not more so during that period, because it's a test. It's really the universe kind of seeing how far we've come, how much we want to ascend. And by the way, the more you work on yourself, I'm sure you've seen this, what happens is you might find that there are friends, there are coworkers, and there are situations in your life that, when challenged to meet you at your frequency, either test you, as we just talked about, or fall away. So that's a normal and I guess it's fortunate, but it can feel unfortunate when you're going through it, process of cleaning and clearing your energy. Things, situations, and people that once brought you joy may no longer bring you joy, or may no longer be in sort of resonance with you, and that's okay. So this is a decision sometimes to let go of stuff. Walk away from a habit, walk away from a friendship, walk away from a job. The good news with this is when you do that, you're actually allowing for something better to come into that space. And because we see both the snake and the egg, this is about you taking more ownership, having more confidence, being a little bit more, I guess, in your power. So it's a good thing, ultimately. It's hard sometimes to let go of something, but I see a blessing afterwards. When I look at your ego for this month, and ego is kind of like your compass, how you're feeling, how you're going to make your decisions. We have 3 of Cups, which I love, by the way. 3 of Cups is celebration. It's showing that you can network. If you're looking for love, you can find new people. The card in reverse is a caution, however. Again, one of the cool things with reversals is a card that normally means happiness and celebration can also have some ways to help you in social situations. This particular one has to do with avoiding any sort of cliques in your family, at work, or just anywhere in life. If somebody is doing something where you hear gossip happening, just avoid that as much as you can. If it's you or someone that you care about and you feel like it's important to speak up, you can just shut it down and say, I really don't appreciate that. If you have something to say, I'm right here and I'd be happy to deal with it. But that's not an effective way to really create a positive reaction. So if you're in the presence of gossip, walk away or stop it. If someone's gossiping about you, go to the source and just say, hey, let's talk. I feel like you need to say something, or you want to kind of get something off your chest. And it doesn't have to be confrontational. It's just saying, we don't need to go about it this way. Let's talk face to face. For me, usually 9 times out of 10, people go white in their face when they hear this, because I've had instances in the past where, because I'm intuitive, you don't want to mess with an intuitive person, right? I can usually see through what's going on. And I've been able to just go straight to somebody before and say, I'm not sure how you're involved, but I feel like something's going on. I'd really like to clear the air. Let's talk. And their eyes get wide and we clear it up. But I've always found that it's better to go directly to the source and shut that down. But for you, the other piece of this is expect everything that you say to get back to the source. So that's why I want you to be careful. If you're in a group of friends, something's being said, just get out of that, because if they're gossiping about someone else, you don't want that to go in a bad place. Anyway, the other thing with 3 of Cups in reverse is just moderation. We're heading into the holiday season. Even in January, there may be some later holidays happening. Just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And if you've overdone it in the holidays, don't beat yourself up. Just start to maybe be a little bit more careful when it comes to diet, exercise, and getting some balance back in your life. Because as we look at your environment card, we have a recovery message here. I love 7 of Pentacles. It means that no matter where you are, whatever you've been through, you have a chance to get better. So with respect to money, it means that if you spent too much over the holidays, you're going to tighten the purse strings a little bit in January and get realistic, put a budget into play, and you'll be fine. If you ate too much, drank too much, or whatever, this is also about saying it's okay, but now start to take care of yourself. There's always a warning with this that if you keep with that habit, that obviously things could get worse, but I look very optimistically at the 7 of Pentacles as a chance to acknowledge a need for change and to make that change happen. Because as we saw with all of the Knights and Pages, this is a month of movement and ownership, so you're going to be fine. It's not the best time to invest into something new, obviously. And if you decide to do something for yourself, there's also a message that you need to achieve balance, because we have Justice here, and she's all about the scales. So you can't do everything, you can't please everyone. And if you want to change something probably has to go, elsewhere in your life by the wayside. Just let it go, because doing less but doing it better, that's kind of part of that message too. So hopefully you understand that. It makes sense. As we look at hope, fears, and opportunity, this particular part of the spread is very much in flux, and you can do a lot with it. I like what we see here. The 7 of Wands is about opportunities in your life and you being able to manage all of them. Much like the 7 of Pentacles, it's nice that we have 2 sevens right by each other. This is your chance to push back, to delegate, to ask for help. If you have a boss that's crazy and is asking you to kind of constantly work late or come in on every weekend, At some point, if you're feeling like there's legitimately a health issue or this just isn't a fair sort of balancing of stuff, this is about standing up and saying, I actually need to take care of myself. I'm exhausted, and how about we delegate this to someone else or whatever? Or thinking like, why am I here? That's a bigger question sometimes. Because if you're not being noticed for the great person that you are, star reversed, this is your chance to perhaps create something new. So there is very much entrepreneurial energy, and that's a very Aries thing too, to kind of just take control, right? So some of you might decide to plant the seeds for that independence. The fact that we see a seed-like card, whether it's an egg or a seed, means that some of you might have to wait a little bit. But this is a month where you start to put a stake in the ground, put that domino out there in the distant future, and allow for things to come to you. All right. One other thing with the Seven of Wands is when it comes to communication, or more importantly, if there's some sort of a sort of conflict negotiation that you have to do, because we have this, which can be legal, which can be sometimes even deciding to talk to your boss about a raise, or someone else in your life about doing something that you need. Try not to go immediately on the defensive or to put them on the defensive. Justice is about sticking to fact-based information. So stick to the facts, try to stay calm, take a deep breath, and if things get escalated, pull back and just say, let's meet again, let's try it again. So that's all that is really coming through for that. So let's take a look now at your outcome card for the month. I really like it, by the way. We have the Nine of Cups. By and large, this is a good card. This means there's a lot to be happy for. Actually, one thing that's coming through in my mind is just gratitude. I talked earlier about like a gratitude journal. You don't have to be that sort of diligent. I think sometimes when we think of journaling, you and I both kind of sometimes think that's too much. But if you can spend maybe a minute in the morning as you're brushing your teeth, as you're showering, and thinking, you know, I'm really glad that this happened, or I'm feeling really good about this, or thank you, universe, for kind of setting this up. I'm in a good space. That sense of understanding that, hey, I know you've got my back, I've got your back. It opens up more abundance in your life. Thanking people in your life too, friends, family, loved ones, and just saying, I love you, I appreciate what you're doing. This brings more. The more love you put out, the more you get back. So Nine of Cups is a little bit like attracts like. Since it's upright, I also think, again, there's a lot to be grateful for. So don't let one thing knock you off of a really good energetic trend for January. But listen, life is not 100% perfect. There's always going to be experiences that you need to go through. So if you have a bad day, if something goes a little bit off, don't let that one thing define things, because the Nine of Cups can be a little bit sometimes about extremes. So we also saw the warning here in the ego with the Three of Cups. I think moderation is really important, not just in how you're treating your body, but like spending habits with the Seven of Pentacles. And now I would also say with your reactions to external situations, because when you go to the definition of stress, right, it's really about how you react to external stimuli. It's not about those situations or people or whatever kind of being good or bad. It's how do I react? How much power am I going to give that or that person, place, or thing? And so if you can kind of be like the woman in this card, have a sense of calm, of being neutral. Meditation is going to be key. That's why she's kind of in a yoga position there. That's going to be really, really important. That's going to help you keep your Zen this month. Okay. Let's go ahead now and we'll expand the forecast. By the way, I forgot to say this at the beginning. I'm going to pull 4 cards to look at 2020 when we're done. So we'll talk about that later, but I wanted to take care of the main forecast first. The expanded forecast includes health, wealth, love, and destiny, as all my returning viewers know, but I'm going to break down each a little bit in case you're new. Health is mind, body, and spirit. So it's not just how you feel, it's also how you kind of emotionally are feeling and also energetically. We have this beautiful card here that is showing that there's an opening happening for many of you in the heart space. And again, with the divine feminine energy, I feel like there's a healing that needs to happen, either with, for some of you, a mother, a sister, or a woman that you really care about in your life. That was actually what I saw this morning before kind of hitting play and talking to you guys. So I think that, I don't know who it is, I don't know what it's about, but I think that the more you can kind of forgive that and make peace with that, the better you're going to feel. Also, divine feminine has to do with all of us, whether we're men or women. And this is divine feminine as well. And this is about being able to own your, again, creativity, your power. And if there's someone in your life that's taking away that feeling that I'm in charge or I can do this, then this is the month to really protect yourself and take that back and not put up with that anymore. Because guess what? This is also a card of taking care of you, the Seven of Wands. So if there's anyone in your life that makes you feel less than, that somehow is making you question who you are, this is the time to put an end to that. And I think that'll be really key. Overall, it's a really positive card. It had more to do with emotions and connections in your life. So pay attention to that. Because I have all of the other cards in front of me, there are a couple other things that I want to highlight. Again, with moderation, Three of Cups. Don't overeat, don't overdrink, don't over anything, really. And then with the Seven of Pentacles, that actually has to do with the balance of your nutrition. So for me, that can have to do with sometimes eating too much processed foods or not having enough protein. So just take a look at what you're eating over the course of January. I feel like many of you, it's going to be detox and also balancing again. So if you need to talk to a doctor or a nutritionist, go for it. But it looks like some of you are slightly malnourished and you want to look into that. All right, so we just looked at health. Let's look at wealth now. The wealth message is about also just kind of being clear, asking questions. So for me, when I see this message card or the messenger, and it's a mess. We have a lot in this, it's kind of like a fisherman net, and there's everything. So to me, this is like the kitchen sink. I feel like for some of you, you're spreading yourself potentially too thin, or there isn't enough clarity on what you're trying to do with respect to your resources. So again, I feel like doing less, doing it better is going to be important. And if you feel like someone's trying to pull the wool over your eyes or not telling you everything when it comes to a contract, if you're trying to negotiate for a raise or getting ahead at work or an investment in your life, if something seems too good to be true, or if you have a nagging question at the back of your head, ask that. Get it on paper. Get everything in writing. That's what we see with this card. That's what we definitely see with the Justice card. You don't want any sort of floating question marks when it comes to money or contracts. Get a lawyer if you need it, okay? Nothing overtly negative or positive about that. It's more about clarity. And I think for some of you, it could just be about clarity on what you should be doing. Sometimes when we have a Seven of Pentacles moment, we know we need to change, but it's sort of like scary to look at the numbers, right? So don't be afraid. I believe that having a sort of a battle plan, a road plan, a map, it helps you. And it kind of is a little bit uncomfortable to have that moment where you think, okay, how did I get into this situation? Or sometimes it can be exciting if you're going to buy a house or make a big investment. You get that sort of dizziness or inertia that kind of is hitting you, and you think, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Well, then ask some more questions and make sure that you are. This is about being really grounded before you step forward in any big financial decision. You can always ask for more time with respect to that. Okay, that was health and wealth. Let's look at love now. So this is not just about finding the love of your life. And many of you that follow me from month to month know that if I have something to talk about with love, I will. If it's more general like it is right now, I'll talk about that. I will say one thing, however, with the Justice card, for some of you, there might be a mutual agreement that it's time to split ways, but this is very amicable. So it could be a roommate situation where you're deciding it's time to move on. It could be a love situation where you've just outgrown one another. It could be also just deciding to leave a job. I do feel like many of you might be amicably or at least very happily leaving a situation. I'm not getting a lot of negativity around that. And just know that that separation is serving a divine purpose for many of you. Don't feel the weight of it. For some of you, you might be the one that's kind of like driving the ultimate conversation. I need to do this. We need to do this. We need to talk. And this can be an emotional weight on you. But look at this card. There's a rainbow right behind this angel. And the fact that it's an angel too is showing that this is divinely driven, divinely guided. So when we've been through something and it served its purpose, it's okay to resolve it, to move on, and just do so with grace and dignity. That's how I kind of try to leave anything in my life, whether it's a relationship, a boss, any situation. That is usually my prayer. I will say, please, universe, help me leave this with a sense of grace, with dignity, and with love. And I try to do it with kindness if I can, but you have to be direct this month. So no apologies for being direct and sticking to the facts, but at some point, just know that it's okay. And This is opening better things up for you. And in fact, as we look at destiny, which is showing me kind of like where you're headed over the course past January, the course of the whole year, we have a caretaker card. This is as much about you taking care of yourself as others. And I see a very sort of balanced energy with this. So if you're not receiving the reciprocity that you need in your life, if there's been situations where it just feels like enough is enough, this is my turn now, and this person is not being there for me, it's okay. And what I see now is when you release this, that's when something bigger, something better, something brighter comes in. This is when we can take this card and flip it into the upright. And yeah, so there's something really powerful with just allowing yourself to shine, knowing that it's okay, not feeling like you have to constantly prop up or fix another person in your life. Now, with the caretaker card, there may be many of you in a position this month where you have to make a really important decision with someone that you love. It could be a spouse, a child, or a partner. And with that justice card, it's something that affects their future, whether it's health or, maybe it's also going to school or something like that. It could be anything. Just know that from what I see, there's a lot of conscientious energy going on here. I think having that heart to heart with them is going to be key. And if they are incapable of doing that, tuning into their heart space and trying to do the best, because obviously they put you in that position of taking care of them for a reason. So you'll be okay. You'll be fine. Okay. But the main thing that I'm seeing here is balance it with yourself as well, making sure that you're okay. So let's go ahead and review what we saw here, and then I'll pull some additional cards to look at 2020, which is something that I'm going to do for all signs this month. And then because we're doing a live reading, nice little meditation benediction, and then we'll chat at the end. Okay, so stick around. At this point, I'm going to talk though as we're looking at all of this. So again, your channeled message, which again, apologies for being reversed. That's something unique with the live feed. It says, get ahead of news or an announcement, control the narrative. I was talking again about sort of like the idea of public relations, where it's important for you to be transparent, to own the delivery of a message. And we see some of that here with the Knight of Swords and also the Justice card. What you need to do is going to be fair and just. Own it, trust it, and allow other people to see you in that light of being empowered. And that's what we saw again with the Cosmic Egg. I'm excited for many of you because this could be a chance to share something really cool with the world. And I just want you to trust in the potential of it. Keep seeing it, because when we're trying to birth or create something, it's just like giving birth to a child. You have to continue to nurture it and care for it. So I can see that here, but there is a chance and an opportunity eventually to release that in January. So know that that's important and that's okay. Knight of Wands, reverse, don't overthink it. In fact, start to trust what you're doing. This is a month of development. I want to see you go from the knight to the queen to the king. So take this with a sense of enthusiasm and continue to work with it. And that's what the Two of Wands is saying. The more energy you put into something that you care about, the better. Try not to focus on anything that's distracting you or pulling back from that. Don't let other people that can't see your vision make the sort of doubt become a roadblock for you. Contracts, definitely some of you are signing, making or breaking contracts is what I'm seeing here with both the Knight of Swords and the Justice card. There's a chance to stand up, stand out. And for many of you, there's a little bit of a feeling of being shy or uncertain. I'm encouraging you to embrace it because I like what I see here. Emotions are the key thing that you want to focus on, not letting sort of stop you as well. So sometimes it's what other people say or not being able to kind of see what you're doing. Sometimes it's your own fear, doubt, or uncertainty, low frequency energy that could pull you away from that. With relationships this month, by the way, the main thing that I see is finding balance. It's not necessarily about a new person coming into your life. It's about balance and integrity in existing relationships. And that's really what Justice is telling us. It could also be a Libra or an air sign. Usually for me, Justice is Libra. So some of you might be meeting a Libra, and we see the Three of Cups here. And I'm not seeing anything really bad with this other than it feels like it's casual and it's a chance to get to know that person. Don't rush it. Just make sure you're both on the same page if that comes through. Three of Cups, moderation. By the way, have fun whenever Three of Cups energy is present. For some of you, there's a chance to celebrate with the Star and the Justice card. Maybe, again, you got some great news and you want to celebrate. Just try not to go overboard with, again, with Three of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, Nine of Cups. It's all about moderation. Bring whatever's going on with your resources. This is your time, your energy, and your money. Bring that into balance. There is an acknowledgement that will happen for many of you in January that you need to not kind of pull yourself or stretch yourself so thin. Many of you might just also have really lofty goals. This doesn't always equate to debt in your life. It can sometimes be a chance to, one, celebrate that you've maybe come, 2/3 of the way to your goal, but you still have a little bit more to do. So try to celebrate the progress made, not the work that needs to be done, which can sometimes be overwhelming. Stand up for yourself. If someone's doing something that is not right, bring it into the light of justice. So you might decide to go to court, or talk to human resources, or go face to face and just deal with someone if they're not acting in a way that is just and right. When you do have any kind of negotiations, try to stick with the facts, though. Avoid emotionally charged situations, and also avoid kind of putting someone in a position where they have to fight you. Stick with the facts. The facts will diffuse it, and will also be something that is hard for them to really argue against. With the 9 of Cups here and the outcome, there's a playful energy with this. I'm actually looking at the cat playing with this with this crab on the beach here. So I want you to have some fun, enjoy the positive, try to stay in this position of being really kind of in a neutral place. So if things are great, let them be great. If there's a day that's not so great, don't let that define the month. Overall, I like that we're ending on a 9 of Cups. That's showing to me that many of you accomplish a lot of the goals that you set forth during the month of January. So embrace it, celebrate it. Really be present if there is a chance for you or someone else in your life to shine. I was talking to a family member the other day about the energy of the star too. And this can be that you realize you're never in someone else's shadow. If you have a lot of successful people around you, you're in their light. I read a quote by Gail, Oprah's friend, and she mentioned she never feels like she's in the shadow of Oprah. She feels like she's in the light. I liked that quote, and I think it's really important. If you have powerful, successful people around you, you're doing something really right in your life. So celebrate their success, and if they can't celebrate your success, they can't see their own light, their own power, and that's actually to their detriment. It's not your fault. As we expand the forecast, looking at health, fixing relationships with women in your life, also celebrating your divine feminine, and not holding back when it comes to creating, delivering, or birthing something that's really important to you. When it comes to wealth, money, anything that has to do with material belongings in your life, ask the questions and get the clarity that you need. This message card is very blurred to me. There's too much stuff. Like I said, it's the kitchen sink. Don't try to do so much with your money. Don't let someone else kind of cloud what the truth is when it comes to a contract or money as well. Be very, very clear. Whatever's happening this month, it is for the right purpose, even if it feels like a loss. And justice can be you leaving or someone else leaving you, but know that this is going to open up something better. And we see the 3 of Cups energy here. So there's new people, new opportunities coming in your life. Be picky, be discerning, because you've earned that right based on what I see. And with the caretaker card, this cuts both ways. It's as much about you taking care of someone else as taking care of yourself. Be balanced, be fair, be even. Treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Again, the 3 of Cups coming back. Anything that you say will go back to source. And it's just, even if it doesn't in this lifetime, it all kind of karmically balances out. So it's a better way to live your life, to realize that you can't really get away with anything when it comes to that. So yeah, just live your life like justice would, fair, balanced, even. Let's go ahead and pull 4 cards. I'm going to look at the 4 different quarters of next year. I've written them down so I don't forget here, so we can look at them in a second here. I'm going to use the same deck, and I'm going to keep the camera up as I do this and just kind of pull the cards up. So the first card, and this is going to be for January, February, and March, is King of Pentacles. I like this card a lot. This has to do with everything that we were looking at developmentally here. So I see a lot of growth, a lot of success coming your way. And notice that, again, with moderation, King of Pentacles is the one card sometimes where it can be about overeating, overtreating yourself, splurging too much. So try to stay moderate when it comes to all of those things. But I do think that when it comes to money and your resources overall, and just self-confidence, that you're going to be in a much better place over the course of January, February, and March. And it feels like you're going to be focusing on career-specific things during those months. So that's all very, very good. And King of Pentacles reminds you to be balanced, to really give as much as you can to others. It's a card of philanthropy, of community service, of caring about people in the community. So know that, again, as much as you give, you'll get right back. And now as we look at the next quarter, let's see what's coming through. Again, I'll kind of draw a connection to all 4 in a second. So the second card for the second quarter of 2020 is Seven of Cups. You've got some decisions to make. A lot of opportunities, a lot of things coming your way. I like Seven of Cups, and let's kind of walk through the different ways that this could work for you. At the beginning, Seven of Cups is about dreaming, imagining, brainstorming. So I think that as you're starting that second quarter, which again would be April, the first month of the second quarter, you might just be thinking, okay, what do I really want to be doing with my life, with this year? What's all of this about? And so this gives you a chance to ground yourself again. We don't only have to do that in January. We can do this at any point, but it feels like many of you in April will have a second chance to sort of think about some things. You might also be presented with some new opportunities. So this is a chance for you also to take stock and think, is this worth my time? Is this worth my energy? Is this a good match for me? One thing that can be dangerous with this is I feel like you have to, over the course of that 3 months, make a decision. So you get a little bit of time, but then you have to clear things up because the Seven of Cups can be scattered a little bit, and it can be hard for you and hard for others to decide how to work within that energy for too long. So I think April's a good month to explore. I think once you get into May and June, this is a chance for you to start to put things into practice. And if I were to take this to, if we go for the card before and the card after, Six of Cups is leaning on friends. The Eight of Cups would be about traveling. So I feel like there's some people in your life that are going to help you make this decision, and then you've got to get out there and actually possibly do some traveling, or you'll have a chance to revisit some of this later. So move forward with one of those things, one of those points of focus, and that's going to help you. So just don't sit too long in indecision. Looking now at the third card, which is July, August, and September. Let's see what's in store for you for 2020. Queen of Swords. Decisive action, contracts, communication, standing up for yourself. I love this, actually. So I feel like you're very much in control in that third quarter. We've moved from a place where you're working with existing resources, kind of getting ahead with money, to making some important decisions, possibly even taking a pivot to the right or to the left, and then really feeling confident and comfortable about that. And I like this. And there's a lot of creative energy with any of the Divine Feminine cards, any of the Queen cards. So I feel like you can have fun. You can be a little bit more playful. For those of you that are creative, this is about writing, painting, art. For those of you that are practical and maybe building a business, because I saw this is when you start to really have some fun with that and decide, what do I want to do? And you're very much in control. The middle, like that second quarter, is a little dizzying. It's like vertigo. So I feel like some of you might be feeling like you're not sure where you want to go. But by the time we get into the third quarter, July, August, and September, you're in a better place. Let's see how you're going to wrap up the year. All right. October, November, and December. Okay, this is when things come to fruition. We have the most Divine Feminine card I could pull, the Empress, and there's a lot of parallels between these two cards. I feel like whatever you're trying to bring into fruition happens. It could be November, or it could be the 9th to the 10th month of the year, so September or October. Because for me, 9 months, bringing something into birth, into creation, I feel really, really optimistic about where you're headed next year. So some of you are trying to make something happen. The one thing that I see here is that it's going to take a little bit of time, and you might question yourself in that second quarter. Don't. Stay clear to the vision. Remember what we saw here with the Two of Wands. The more you understand what you're trying to do, the better. And you can't kind of lose track of that, because then you lose some of the momentum and some of the energy. Overall, you have really great cards for next year. Again, just to review the 4 quarters, we have King of Pentacles for the first quarter, really showing you to lean on the existing resources you have, be generous with your time and with others, just to find that balance that we saw with the Justice card. But it means success for me. It could be a new job. For many of you, you're wondering, did I make the right decision? Should I do something else? There's some big choices to make in the second quarter. You're going to make the right choice, but it may take you those 3 months to land on that. For many of you, when we come to the end of the year, that's when you finally hit your stride, and you can look back at everything that you've done and realize, I'm really in a good place. I feel like this is exactly where I need to be. All right. That was your live reading. It was exciting for me. I don't think I've done a live reading on YouTube ever. So just a quick note, if you've been watching this, you will be able to watch the replay. And I'm also going to aggregate all of these into a playlist, and I'll post those on my website, on Twitter, and everywhere else. I'd like to give you a meditation, and then we're going to chat a little bit at the end. So let's meditate together, because the fact that we're all here means that we can kind of tap into one another's energy. So I'd like to pray for healing and for prosperity, and to really help you bring into fruition whatever these sort of fertility cards are showing. Some of you, it could be a family. You're trying to create a family. Some of you, you're bringing forth a business or an idea. Whatever it is that you want to create, I want to help you with that, okay? So everybody get comfortably seated. Close your eyes for a second. And just kind of scan your body really quickly. I do this with all my clients. I think it's good to do with you. So just relax, and let's take a nice deep breath together. Inhale. Hold that breath for a moment. Really see that swirling within your body, clearing out anything that doesn't need to be there. When you can no longer hold it, just sigh it out. Relax your posture a little bit. I feel like many of you might need to take your shoulders and pull them back for a second. Release any of the tension that you might be holding on to. And I want you to imagine that it's a nice, beautiful, sunny day. So no matter what the weather is, no matter where you live, I want you to see yourself in a nice, sunny location, whether it's the beach or the forest, it doesn't matter to me. Find a tree in this location, sit against it, prop your back against that tree. And for that moment, I just want you to feel completely supported by the tree, by the ground, by the universe around you. Let whatever sounds that might be, or whatever thoughts might be in your head, just to kind of go away. Listen to the wind as it blows through the trees or the grass. Listen to the sound of the birds around you. Listen to the water, the ocean, whatever might be near you. And just really take in the grandeur, the beauty that is this planet. Give some gratitude to Mother Earth. Allow her to hear you. And as you do that, you're going to feel that you get this nice little warm hug back. Whenever we pray to Gaia, she's there, she hears it. There's not a lot of love that goes to the earth right now. So say, I love you, I appreciate you, I feel supported. Let your heart melt into the tree and feel that you can connect not only with the tree, but the branches at the top as you're reaching up and touching the sun, the roots as they're reaching towards that center of the earth. Feel yourself squarely between, just like the magician or that star card that we saw here today. Allow your heart to be that center point that's going to receive the love and the light from the sun, the support, the nurturing, the divine feminine energy from the planet Earth. You are supported, you are grounded, you are blessed. I want to thank each and every one of you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. I want to really help you get into your power and pray that you hear your intuition, see what's possible for the year ahead, so that wealth, abundance, happiness, and health can come to you. I want to just say again, thank you so much for being a part of this. Let's take one last deep breath together, blessing one another, wishing one another the best possible January and 2020. Inhale. And let it go. Slowly open your eyes. All right, that was great. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, excuse me, now my throat chakra is closed. Hopefully you guys enjoyed everything today. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. I'll spend a couple minutes here just chatting with you. So I just want to say thank you. I see that some of you have done some super chats and donations. I will do a little shout out later. I do appreciate all of the gratitude. Know that whenever you do that, it goes directly into helping me buy some new cards. There were the soul cards too that you were seeing today. I love these. Thank you, Spirit Reads. I appreciate that. And if there are other ways to give back, I normally will give this sort of boilerplate way to do that. So let me talk about that right now. You can always, if you haven't joined me on social media, please do that. I'll put some links below the video and also in the cards. This is an important time to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, because I will let you know when I'm going to do live feeds, and to opt into the notifications. If you want to ever book an appointment, you can do that through my website. I'll put a link as well. And if you want to give back, you can do a super chat today. You can also click the join button, which gives you cool emojis and eventually some inside access to what's going on as well. Or you can join me on Patreon or my website. There's a lot of ways to do that. So I'll put some links later on how you can do all of that. But today it was more important for me to be live, to be present, and to kind of give you guys a gift of a live reading. Again, I haven't done it before, so hopefully you guys liked it. So yes, Patricia, of course, I'll be doing it for all signs. So there'll be different days over this month because I can't do 12 live readings in a day. It's a lot of energy, so I want to be fresh, on, and completely present for every sign. There might be some days where I do 2, so just so you know that. Thank you, Melanie. I'm glad you appreciate it, even though you don't have Aries. Yeah, this is a chance to just hang out with me 12 times if you want to this month. So let's see. You're very welcome, Christian. Thank you. And thanks, Carolyn. I'm glad that this resonated with you. This can be used for your sun, rising, and moon, KW. So if I designed this so that it can be for your sun sign, but if you have Aries in your moon or ascendant, you can absolutely watch for that. In fact, I would watch for all 3 of the signs as I do them this month. You're welcome, Bettina. Thank you so much. Thank you, Easter Ellen. So is there any questions that anyone had? Hopefully you enjoyed this. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, I just want to say I appreciate you, and I'm glad that this resonated. Part of the reason, again, that I'm doing this, first of all, it's a lot of fun, and I get to connect with all of you. And I also wanted it to be more organic, and it took me a lot less time to do this live than it does when I do a recorded reading, because I'm a perfectionist. So I feel like you got exactly the same quality here, and I wasn't beating myself up and spending 6 hours of production. So if this is something that you like, I'll probably do this more. Let's see, the question about Taurus. I think I said this at the beginning. My live dates are gonna be every day but Tuesday and Wednesday, because I'm seeing clients this week and next, even though we're in the holiday month. So I'll be probably live streaming on Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and again next Monday. My goal is to get everything done by the 20th or on the 23rd or earlier. So if I have to double up a couple of days, I will. And I'm sorry that I'm not posting a formal sort of schedule. I want to do this exactly when it feels good. So you'll catch them all. And if you have a chance to see me in any of the live ones, you're more than welcome to pop in and say hello at the beginning and end as well. Thank you so much, Kelly. I'm glad you liked the approach. I'm glad you liked it, Jenna. And yeah, you're welcome, Phoebe. Thank you so much. This was a big relief to me. Again, I normally don't get nervous about things, but I've only done a couple live readings, and I usually don't do that because I really like to stay focused. So I wasn't ignoring anybody that commented earlier. If I'm doing a reading, I have to stay in the flow. So what I'm going to do after the live read is I'm going to look at all the comments that you guys did, and I'll make sure that if I have to answer any questions, I will. But you can also look at this on replay, comment on the replay as well. And I just want to say much love and light to all of you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be present. And I'll see you all later this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There'll be more live streams. I'm going to do them in order of the horoscopes. But know this, by the way, if I decide to do this again, I'll go reverse when it comes to the February reading. So I'll start with Pisces and work up. I'm going to do Aries and work down. This way, everybody will get a chance to be at the top of the list. So more to come. Thank you so much. Have a great holiday season. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.